Hey everyone, welcome to today's panel on how restaurants can leverage digital ordering during and after COVID-19. Today's session is presented by GoParrot together with MarketMan. We're so excited to have our partners from Juice Press and Azzip Pizza joining the call today as well. Today, we're going to learn a little bit about how you can successfully pivot your business to digital ordering. Next, we're going to go over the key success strategies used by established restaurateurs, in this case, Andy from Azzip and Michael from Juice Press. And third, we're going to learn how you can leverage technology to adapt and overcome these difficult times of adversity. In terms of today's speakers, really a warm welcome to everyone joining today's call. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules. First, I want to introduce Michael Karsh, CEO of Juice Press. For those of you that don't know, Juice Press is a pioneer of the wellness industry, and they stay committed to making healthy food accessible. Juice Press has more than 80 locations across the country, with a concentration of those locations in and around New York City. Michael is currently the CEO and chairman of the board. Next, we have Andy from Azzip Pizza. Azzip Pizza is a family-owned and operated pizza chain with 9 locations across Indiana and Kentucky. Azzip serves personal-sized pizzas created in front of the customer, baked in 2.5 minutes. Andy is the co-CEO alongside his brother, Brad. Next, I want to introduce Yaniv Nissim from GoParrot. GoParrot delivers premium digital ordering experiences for restaurants. Yaniv is the expert on the line today, and we owe this to him to kind of talk us through how we can navigate the world of ordering, especially during today's climate. Last, but hopefully not least, my name is Matt, and I represent MarketMan. MarketMan is a restaurant inventory and automation platform. Now more than ever, exact costing and automation is key, and we'll want to discuss best practices for back-of-house management. I want to introduce our first speaker for today, Michael from Juice Press. Michael, how are you doing today?
Hi. Well,
how's everything going?
Great, thank you.
Perfect. So the first question that I have for you today, Michael, is can you tell us just a little bit more about how Juice Press responded to COVID-19 pretty much overnight?
Thank you, yes. So first I would say that there was no way I could have responded from an implementation standpoint without GoParrot and MarketMan. But when you start out from the beginning, I guess you have to say that there had to be a pivot in the first place. And for us, our realization was that Juice Press has a platform for delivery in the way of Fresh Direct, or Amazon Fresh. So we have our own commissary, we have our own warehousing, we have our own capability of cooking, we have our own vendor relationships in the produce market. And I started to hear on the, on all the talk shows or conversation about how supermarkets were starting to really do extremely well. And I thought, this is disappointing because we sort of are a supermarket, but people don't see us that way. And how do I get the company to transition quickly in order to pivot? And so because we had this online platform with GoParrot, we essentially had, and because GoParrot speaks to MarketMan from a IT infrastructure standpoint, and all of it integrates into Square and into our loyalty plan, we were able, with the help of GoParrot and MarketMan, to take the expanded product lineup that we had, feed it into MarketMan, and then have GoParrot was able to get to link up with the other softwares, as I mentioned, POS and MarketMan, create an online menu very quickly, and also, of course, satisfy the back end with our same loyalty program.
Awesome. Yeah, Michael, that's great. I know that you're dialed in over the phone, but the slide that we're showing right now is, talking about Juice Press Grocery, how you have your whole line of soups, salads, but also bulk produce, bulk snacks that you are now delivering from your organic supermarket, right? Which used to be your commissary serving more than 80 locations. So that's
Correct.
really awesome.
Thank you.
You mentioned GoParrot, you mentioned MarketMan, you mentioned Square.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other digital assets that you utilize to allow you to make such a quick turnaround, or was it really these core three that led to the delivery?
Really, those are because our loyalty plan is part of Square, so really that was the core three. And in the case of MarketMan and GoParrot, I needed their willingness to be nimble enough to tweak our system and reprogram certain things, and in order for us to be able to fit this, Square's backend was already kind of ready, and both of your companies worked tirelessly, Neves, and your company worked tirelessly to make that happen. And then along the way, we then learned about a lot of functionalities that were on the platform that we didn't really understand, like the database and some other things that we needed in order to implement this strategy.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Michael. I really appreciate that. Question for you. I know 2020 hindsight, Monday morning quarterback, but if COVID-19 happened all over again, but you knew it was coming, what would you do differently to prepare?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep that very focused on this webinar rather than get into a longer conversation about retail boxes. I will just say that the devil's always in the detail of any business, and we've gone from 0 supermarket deliveries to 350 a day in a 10-day period. And so, of course, there's just a number of nuances that need to be set up. For example, even Yaniv came to the commissary over the weekend with GoParrot, and he worked a fair amount of the weekend trying to help us in terms of creating a more seamless exchange between our head of customer service and the orders that it was being inputted and our head of commissary. And we were being very inefficient with it, and Yaniv was willing to come from Brooklyn to Long Island City and spend time there in order to make that happen. There's just a number of things that we're learning in that way, and also just trying to. For us, the big thing is delivery windows. MarketMan's been very seamless, as I said. The order platform and the programming skills clearly were very helpful, but we would have been much better off with that. But it was really nothing to other than learning some of the functionalities when it came to your two pieces of software. There's nothing I could have really done differently in that way. The things that would be different would have been maybe more advertising and things like that.
Right. I think everyone's in the same boat in that regard, right?
Yeah.
So Michael, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about, what your focus is these days and how you split your time, right? Obviously shifting from retail operations to grocery operations.
Right.
What's going on there?
Right. So we've decided, there's always sort of short, medium term, and never has that been more obvious in my day between trying to fight a street fight and come out the other side with a stronger business than before. And in our case, right now, the supermarket business is accounting for a very significant, but not quite majority part of our business, given how quiet New York is. And the fact is that I was forced to close a lot of locations. So the way I'm looking at this is right now is Juice Press has a unique opportunity in the delivery area because we have the ability to deliver to our customers in 24 hours. And about a third of our business is produce, which only has a shelf life of about 3 to 4 days. Fresh Direct and Amazon Fresh have a 7-day waiting list right now. And so we really have a chance, as good as 350 deliveries with a very, very big ticket sounds. I had originally said our goal was to get to 500, and now given, unfortunately, the extended shutdown, so to speak, and seeing the gap we have in competitive advantage against some Goliaths, we think that we could create a permanent reputation for ourselves in the next 4 weeks. And we think that not only are we driving very needed cash flow with this business, but that we're going to come out where people always remember in our very important geographies that we were there for them very, very, very difficult time. So as a specific example, I was in the commissary this morning at about 5 o'clock and just left for this webinar, working on actually redoing a lot of the setup of our commissary. But we're basically surviving in retail right now, and we're all in on proving that we're going to come out of this in the produce area specifically and in our own products, which together represent about 75% of our supermarket sales, that we're going to come out with a real reputation in a huge addressable market.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Now, what would your advice be for other restaurant operators that are listening? Not everybody has a tremendous, production plan pivot into grocery overnight. But how crucial do you think digital ordering is going to be to the restaurant industry over the next couple of months, but then extending on into the future permanently?
Yeah. I think the problem is, I still have had a problem thinking about the delivery business unless you have a very big ticket versus the order to pick up. In our retail business, the order to pick up is a great business for us. And so that business I really hope comes back because, and actually GoParrot is the engine for that. So I just should point out we've had exponential growth with them in the order to pick up pre-order because our smoothies are very, very conducive to that. So I certainly hope that and expect that will come back. I still am very afraid, as I said, of just the traditional, like delivering a smoothies and bottled juices and a few things to somebody's apartment. And just the math doesn't really work for me right now in terms of like seeing what, but on the supermarket side, because we're in big cities and people are afraid of not getting their groceries, we're getting like $100 tickets. Average tickets. So that makes the delivery very much worth it. My advice is you just have to know your business and always stay true to your unit economics. And, the unit economics, maybe you can bend them over time with economies of scale and know-how, but you have to be realistic about your unit economics. And you got to just keep working forwards and backwards in terms of being creative until you find unit economics that work for you. And if they don't work, then you got to get out of that business.
Thank you, Michael. That's great. Really, really insightful stuff. Now we're going to pivot on to a different business. Thanks for the time today, Michael. Really appreciate it. We'll come back in a couple of minutes. But transitioning over to Andy from Azzip Pizza, different type of business, right? We mentioned 9 locations. Pizza, not cold pressed juice and smoothies. Andy, first of all, thanks so much for joining today. Really appreciate it. For those of us that might not know as much about Azzip Pizza, can you tell us a little bit about the business?
Yeah, absolutely. So Azzip is a personal pizza company. So each of our pieces are meant for one and not necessarily to be shared. And the business models for the last 6 years has always been to build that pizza in front of the customer in the store and then cook it for them in 2.5 minutes so it's ready to go. So we didn't do call ahead, didn't do online ordering except for one test market. And really just enjoyed serving the customers face-to-face in the stores every day.
Awesome. The success story here is you're keeping your doors open during COVID-19, selling upwards of 20,000 per day. Can you tell us a little bit how digital ordering helped you adapt to this pandemic? And, what were you doing?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be able to be open right now just doing call-in orders. We wouldn't be able to process that many orders in the store and be able to take orders from customers, and that way it's just too inefficient. So we were testing through GoParrot online ordering at one of our locations, and it was only about 3 to 4% of the volume at that one location. And when the order from Indiana and Kentucky came down on the same day, to close all dine-in or all restaurants to dine-in customers, we had to adapt quickly and overnight, literally overnight, with the help of GoParrot to translate the menu online ordering experience from that one store to all of our stores. And we're able to get it up and running within 36 hours at all those stores, and went from 3 to 4% at one store coming through the online ordering channel to 75% of all orders across all our stores coming through the online channel. So it was an adjustment for the team. Thankfully, we had something that we were testing and built out and had some learnings to go off of, and just it was the responsiveness from our partners at GoParrot and of our teams in the store to make that switch overnight was pretty cool to see.
That's unbelievable. 36 hours going from nothing to something. It's really impressive. I asked the same question to Michael a few minutes ago, obviously coming from a different space, different area, different business. What's your outlook on the industry, right? How crucial do you think digital ordering is going to be in the restaurant industry past the point of this pandemic and just as a permanent fixture?
I mean, it's going to cause a permanent change in the restaurant industry and in our markets. I think customers will come to expect that after they've become used to doing it for who knows how long now, being the only way really that they can order. It's going to bring people that were resistant to ordering that way onto that platform, and they're going to find some conveniences in that, and they're going to come to expect it going forward. It's not going to be something that we can walk away from now or walk back. It's going to stick, and we're going to have to figure out how to integrate that for ourselves into the operations with serving customers in the store. But it's definitely not something that's going to go away by any means now. It's only going to, it rushed or it pushed up the timeline for something that was going to be happening over time to really happen in a very rapid time frame. I think, I mean, and for us too, being in the pizza industry, we didn't always necessarily consider ourselves competing directly with Domino's, Papa John's. It was more competition with other fast casuals, Panera, Chipotle, those kind of competitors. I think at this time frame now, though, we are, seeing ourselves competing more with those pizza competitors in this time frame. So we have to have a digital presence right now to be able to compete anywhere effectively with them. So
absolutely, and I guess Domino's kind of wrote the book on big pizza and delivery and things of that nature. So it's great to be competing in this space. So Andy, tell us a little bit about what's your biggest takeaway from this experience? And on top of that, and take it one step further, not only just your takeaway, what would your advice be for other similar multi-unit growing operators in the space?
Yeah, I would say as you think about what your digital presence looks like, and this is a long-term thing especially, but to try to make your online ordering experience mimic that in-person ordering experience that you're really trying to deliver as much as possible. So GoParrot's platform really allowed us to do that by being able to showcase the pizzas, to be able to showcase the toppings when they're choosing what they want on there, so they can visually see what they're going to be adding to their pizza and what items they're selecting. And the order flow and everything like that, the personalization aspects, we really wanted and needed to have that because it's such a core part of our concept. We didn't want to sacrifice that in a digital ordering platform. And so just really think about what your concept looks like in person and how can you translate that into the online ordering experience.
Matt, are you talking? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't either.
Oh, sorry about that. Looks like I got on mute over there. What I had said was, before I had been muted for 1 minute too long, but thanks so much, Andy. It was really insightful and valuable feedback. I hope that everyone can kind of heed your advice and take these learnings to the next step. But going to pass it over now to Yaniv from GoParrot. He's going to tell us a little bit about how we can, mobilize digital ordering, almost overnight.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matt, and thank you, of course, Michael and Andy for sharing your experience with the community and for being such great customers of GoParrot. Really appreciate it. So when I look at GoParrot, GoParrot is a combination of two things: the Starbucks experience and artificial intelligence. And the reason that I started the company is because I wanted to create an experience in which, restaurants and customers are going to feel that they know each other. And so if you are going to a restaurant, in most cases, if you're ordering or so on, the restaurant doesn't know you and can't give you a real personalized experience. And that's the reason that we created the company and what we wanted to bring to this market. Now, one of the things that are important to note is that, this is a difficult and challenging time for restaurants. The majority of restaurants needed to close. So we were, and we are 100% committed to our customers to help them grow their business and help them through difficult times. And so we put a lot of extra resources to help our customers make changes to their menus, up their offerings, and cope better so they don't need to close stores. And I can say that really a lot of customers GoParrot were helping them through that very significantly. And as we know, as human beings, we are adapting. And some of the things that we learned through this pandemic is going to materially change the businesses that are using GoParrot. If you're talking about, Michael with the JP Grocery and Juice Press, and Andy with like order ahead pickup for, pizzas, also past COVID-19. So regarding GoParrot, GoParrot is a combination of two things: the Starbucks, what we call the Starbucks experience. So Starbucks has invested tens of millions of dollars into building their app. And with GoParrot, every restaurant can have their own version of the Starbucks app and online ordering. We do online ordering for delivery, pickup, catering, and also curbside pickup. We do loyalty that integrates between online and in store, so people can accrue points and redeem them to rewards both online and in store. We have very deep POS integrations, which means that people can place orders and it's automatically gonna print in the kitchen, so no need for tablets or manual data entry. We also have delivery integrations with players such as Postmates and DoorDash and a bunch of local players. So if you don't have delivery, we can offer that as part of the package. And we also have, of course, a mobile app and soon the ability to scan and pay. And regarding the artificial intelligence, we are building, this personalized recommendation engine for customers. You can think about it as a Netflix type or as an Amazon type recommendations, so that we would know, what to recommend for customers to eat when they come to shop online and what to recommend for upsell. So if you have a sweet tooth, then GoParrot would know to offer you to add a dessert on checkout, assuming you didn't put dessert in the cart, and many other really cool things with that. And we're also using this technology in order to automate marketing for restaurants, and that's some of the features that are coming later this year. I want to say, one last thing. Starbucks has become the biggest bank in the United States, because at every point in time, they are upfronting between $25 and $50 and sometimes more from each customer that's part of the loyalty program. And bringing that for merchants and multi-unit operators is a really big deal, and helping them upfront cash from customers is a really good opportunity for them. And that's what GoParrot can help with. So in light of COVID-19, we're giving some promotion. And so we're giving 50% off setup cost until April 15th. And the 30 days free access to the product, so people can try the GoParrot offering and kind of get an easy start with the product.
Perfect. That's great, Yaniv. Thanks so much for the introduction, and I hope that a lot of people are going to learn a little bit more about GoParrot from now and after they watch today's session. Now, for those of us that, of course, Yaniv, thanks for joining. Now, for those of us that might not have heard of MarketMan before, like I mentioned before, MarketMan is a restaurant inventory and automation platform. now more than ever, exact costing and automation is key. So we'll want to discuss best practices for back of house management. What it is that we do is we focus on being a leading inventory management solution, focusing on inventory, procurement, AP automation, recipe costing. And the goal is just to automate all of your manual tasks, taking inventory counts, submitting purchase orders, receiving deliveries. When a delivery arrives, just snap a photo of the invoice. We'll update the prices, update the quantities, and add it into stock for you. You can then pass it over to your accounting software. You know, perfect kind of stream of all this. How it works is you're going to place a mobile order through GoParrot. GoParrot syncs with the point of sale. Point of sale syncs in together with MarketMan and actively depletes that inventory from your storage unit. If you sold a burger, it's going to remove 8 ounces of ground beef, a slice of cheese, and a bun, let you know what you're running low on and when it's time to place that new order. You'll gain access to a wide variety of different reports and analytics, and hopefully spend much less time in the back of house. So what it is that we're offering today is an aggressive promotion for our existing customers. We understand how bad you're hurting from this. A reduced emergency maintenance price to keep your account in good standing and using so that you can, of course, keep your costs down now when it's more important than ever. And then for new users that want to give MarketMan a try, this extra time, this downtime might be useful. Keeping costs low is now more important than ever. So we understand that not everybody is in the same exact situation, but for restaurateurs that have a little extra time, this might be a good opportunity to get your back of house operations organized and set up for future successes. You know, use this time productively. There's no risk. We don't want to have price get in the way, so we're giving the platform away entirely free of charge for 2 full months with no setup fees and all integrations included. You'll get the same handheld support throughout the entirety of the process. So hopefully that when you come out of this, on the other side, you'll have best practices in place for everything that you need regarding inventory, costing, purchasing, and automation. So that about sums it up for today's presentation, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. I really appreciate it. Again, Matt from MarketMan, thanks so much to Andy, to Michael, and to Yaniv for joining us today. Look forward to chatting again soon, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too.